for the greatest comedian alive, Mr. Ian Ellis.
His name is Ian Ellis.
Mr. Ian Ellis. Make some noise, y'all. Let's start off with something from the heart. Don't ever in your life try and accomplish anything, because God will take you down with a vengeance. Like I tried to do some shit with my life today. My friend, his only responsibility was to show up with a valid form of ID, and he fucked that up. We got a lot of testosterone in this place. We got bookers downstairs, we got a pool room, the game's going. Like if you know the right person, you could probably get 2 hookers and an 8-ball at a price. Like, I feel like there might be a rape room somewhere on this floor. We got some beautiful women here tonight. Excuse me, sweetie, what's your name? Margarita. A moment ago I mentioned the possibility of a rape room. And I want to make you a promise. Now I hope that tonight doesn't turn into the plot of a Liam Neeson movie. But if you were kidnapped or raped at any point in this show, I will be the first person to get on network television and say, I remember when Maria came to my CD recording. Ian Ellis presents Homeless People and Unicorns, available for $9.99 on iTunes and Amazon. If you laughed at the bit about me raping somebody in the front row, you're in the right place. If not, you should probably fuck off before I get to the bit about my ex-wife. Some things are going to be awkward because I have some questions for the attractive ladies in the front row. Are you part of a theater troupe? Because you look like you're auditioning for the Hunger Games. You know it's just a movie, right? And a book, possibly a video game. Definitely not a summer activity. 16 years! It's a long sentence. Any chance you're going to get paroled for good behavior? You're married for life? 2 kinds of people get married for life. Suckers and emperor penguins. You don't look like an emperor penguin to me. What's going on here? So the kid have a yard sale? Growing up in your wardrobe led to the magical land of Narnia? Trying to disappoint your mother for Easter? You guys are engaged. Congratulations. Are you ready for that, man? 16 years with the same dumb face? The same... Alright, you're a 9, but I haven't looked at the same porn 16 times, let alone for 16 years. We gotta talk at some point. Mom over here, Adam was asking your daughter what she uses for birth control, and if you were close enough, you heard her say, I've got 4 kids, I'm not worried about it. So I think the question is, what are you using for birth control? Apparently it's not working. And he looks a little too young. I don't want babies making babies. Congratulations. You ever look at your daughter and think about all the money you spent on her and just, you're like, I was 1 abortion away from a new car. It's like braces, I could have had leather seats. Shut up. On a lighter note, I haven't been afraid of an audience in like 2 years, and I feel like I might quit comedy tonight. Like the 9/11 of comedy. I just want a list of all the comics, and we're gonna read it like a memorial service. So 25 years, but you don't like your lady anymore? Like, you really fucked up, man. I would have left 3 seconds into this show. Are you easing your way into a divorce? Like, you just don't like pussy anymore? He must have some side pussy, because you can't hope to get laid after tonight. Are you guys a love marriage or like an arranged marriage?
Both.
Both? See, I didn't think anybody chose to stay married for 25 years anymore. Like, I was married for 3 years because it took 2.5 years to get divorced. And you're like a minister or something?
No. I was.
You were?
You first.
I'm fucked, man.
No.
I'm going through a breakup, so I came here to talk about pussy and how much I hate bitches. And I just need you to promise that if your man should accidentally laugh at the sexist shit that I say, you'll still give him some pussy tonight. Because it's not his fault.
He's not here.
If there was like 10 more... Oh! You got some side dick. Congratulations, I know why you're no longer a minister. Just dicking them down. You dicked her out of the cloth. So a lot of people are worried that Iran might get a nuclear weapon, but I think it would be worse if Florida got one. You don't even have to be aware of current events to know why that's funny, because that's how fucked up Florida is. Last year, a plane crashed in Florida because a crocodile got loose while it was on board and made its way to the cockpit. Really, Florida? A fucking crocodile? No one in your crack TSA staff saw that coming? You didn't say, oh, that four-legged creature with mandibles that could tear a man in half, maybe don't let that on the plane? Maybe it's a terrorist? You saw the leathery skin and assumed it was an old person? Did you hear that Florida has a new state motto? May the odds be always in your favor. I think the difference between an unborn fetus and a woman is that Republicans don't care about women. That was slightly better than acceptable. We just had the 1-year anniversary of the tsunami, and I think the tsunami was really God's way of punishing people who can't drive. The fucked up thing is that Geico defaulted on so many claims that they became the second lizard to decimate Japan. I remember when we buried my father, it was really sad watching him suffocate. To be fair, the PlayStation he bought me only had one controller. A lot of people are worried because Obama recently had an American citizen assassinated. But to be fair, Al Awaki, he was wearing a hoodie. Strictly for my news junkies. I think the hardest part about molesting a child is getting ordained. Purely for the sake of time, I would have just bought an ice cream truck. To be fair, priests do take like a vow of abstinence, so maybe for them molesting a child is just like a cheat day. My girlfriend's worried that if she gets older, she'll be unfuckable. No problem, sweetie. Nobody's unfuckable to a rapist. Ask the girl from Korea. Sometimes when my girlfriend's sleeping, I jack off. Because I figure if I come on her tits, it's not technically masturbating. I don't like women that run track and field, because it's really hard to catch them in a hockey mask. I think White Castle should be put in charge of Border Patrol, because every time I eat there, I have to run home less than an hour later. Do lions ever have pride parades? Because they're gay? Sometimes I write down a joke and it doesn't make sense the next day. Like I looked at my notepad the other day and it said, 2 a.m., mumble, scare a ghost. Which to me reads like a madman's to-do list. What am I going to do today? Got up at 2 a.m.? Oh, mumbling. I like mumbling. Guess I better go scare that ghost. I thought I saw a homeless guy doing yoga the other day. Turns out he only had one leg. Let's give it up for the troops. funny. I appreciate that you're trying to bring up the numbers in my judgment of the audience. Sometimes when my girlfriend gets really mad, she starts squawking and squeaking, and I said, baby, the more you squawk, the less convinced I am you're a person. She responded by pecking my eyes out. She's a crazy bird. I like the iPod, because before that, I just had a bunch of CD players that looked like the victims of domestic abuse. I don't think you should molest a child. But if you're going to, wrap it up. Let's face it, cooties are still contagious. I really want to punch a genie in the dick. I think genies are bullshit, but if I found one, that would be my wish. Not my first wish. My first wish, wealth and money. Second wish, Brad Pitt abs. Third wish, I want to punch that genie in the dick. I love the comic book character Thor, because he has all the powers of the god and all the daddy issues of a mortal. People are worried that they're defunding Planned Parenthood. They're like, come on, abortions don't grow on trees. Like, yeah, unless you like hitting women with sticks. A lot of people have bucket lists. Before I die, I want to punch a dolphin. It's not a hate crime, but I'm pretty sure it's poor ecology. My friend thinks that spider bites make you gay. I think he's being arachno-homophobic. It's very clever wordplay. The 20-year-olds got it. A lot of people think that Jesus is God, but I don't think it's true, because nowhere in the Bible does he provide his long-form birth certificate. Some people are worried that Jesus is coming back. I'm not worried about it. I think SEAL Team 6 will get him. I'm terrified of octopi, because I realized the other day that an octopus is basically a giant spider with snakes for legs. You got a clown master that, and that's every nightmare I've ever had as a child. What's the deal with phone poles? Because I haven't had a landline in like 10 years. Where the fuck are these wires going? Got like one crazy guy with a tinfoil hat. We gotta leave all this shit up for him. We're just leaving them up for the birds. We need some sort of system for poor kids to get rid of their shoes. Recently, offered a job working with kids that have special needs. And it's an 8-week summer camp, and they're like, can you go 8 weeks without smoking? I said, what are you, retarded? He said, an issue? I'm not going to teach the retards how to smoke. It's bad enough, they don't need cancer. They're going to sell drugs to a retard. People get married for a lot of strange reasons. I got married for the kids. My wife lets me eat the sick ones. Like a gerbil. I don't want to get too political, but I don't like pooping in public. You're like me, I gotta get top to bottom naked to really push one out. I'm wearing my pants might get stolen by bandits. Bathroom bandits. They're out for your pants, and your treasure, and your dignity. So I think the prices at McDonald's are based on how likely the food is to kill you. Sausage McMuffin, $1. Sausage egg McMuffin, $3. The way that thin slice of egg is worth as much as 2 pieces of bread, a piece of meat, some butter, and some cheese. As if they're planning for the inevitable lawsuit they're going to get when people find out that their eggs are made from chickens that have eggs.
Chickens have AIDS.
They do when they don't wear protection. Chicken heads have AIDS as well. An epidemic. I think the best part of being in a stable, committed relationship is knowing that there's someone at home that you can cheat on.
Ghosts don't make a lot of sense to me. How come no one's ever seen a ghost dinosaur? I think that would be really scary. But dude, my house is haunted. By what? Tyrannosaurus Rex! I would brag about that shit all day. What's your house haunted by? Creepy little girl? I got a dinosaur, bitch! I woke up to a T-Rex and blood on my walls. So I think if a house was haunted by a dinosaur, it'd be a real conundrum for the Catholic Church. Because on the one hand, they're prepared to deal with an exorcism. On the other hand, they may have to admit that the earth is more than 6,000 years old. Might have to go to a Scientologist for that one. So I don't like people that want me to believe in them. A lot of my friends are artists, comedians, rappers, and they're like, Ian, do you believe in me? I'm like, no. Not even a little. First of all, if you weren't believing it, we wouldn't be having this conversation at 5 in the morning. Second of all, no one has ever been famous because I believed in them. Executives have never sat an artist down and said, we really like your style, we like everything you're doing, but we have one question. Does he and Ellis believe in you? Because that is a deal breaker here at Aftermath. I like people that text and drive. I feel like texting and driving is catching up to alcoholism as the #1 killer of douchebags. And I'm gonna be honest, I spend way too much time drinking and driving to watch out for your 16-year-old, the police, and the road.
I don't think there's enough violence in America. I think if someone cuts you off and then slams on their brakes to check a text message, you should be able to pull over, stop your car, and just flick him in the nose. This is a privilege, not a right. So I'm originally from Colorado, and I love Chicago, but people here speak with a lot of extra S's. Like my buddy said to me the other day, hey man, let's go to Jules. So you mean Osco? He said, yeah man, let's go to Osco's. Like, come on man, how many fucking grocery stores are we going to? I see stuff here I've never seen before. I was in the city the other day, and I saw the hottest homeless girl I'd ever seen in my life. I didn't even know they made those. I almost wrecked my car diving in the passenger seat for change. A lot of people only look at the negative side of dating the homeless. They always want to come to your place. They're going to eat all your food. They never have any money. But I think that sounds like every girl I dated in college. I don't date the homeless, mostly because I live with my parents. I tried bringing home a bunny one time, and it didn't work out that well. I hate to see my parents try and drown a homeless girl just to teach me a lesson. My dad loves that joke. He said if I did bring home a homeless girl, he would drown her. Not to teach me a lesson, he just really likes drowning homeless girls. And hot dogs. Complicated dude.
So if you're around my age, you probably have racist grandparents. My buddy Jason is here tonight, and his grandmother hates white people. Like with her whole heart. I don't have a racist grandmother. My grandmother's British, so she talks like Mary Poppins, and she spent her childhood like hiding Jews from the Nazis. I love my grandmother, and I've been disrespectful to her like 2 times in my life, and I'm going to tell you about those 2 times. The first, I was a little kid, spent the night with my grandma. She was driving me to school, and my grandma shit her pants. Whoa. Not like I thought that was a fart, and oops. It was like grandma had been up all night drinking 40s, and it was winter. So we had those windows up tight, and we had the heat on, and it was palpable. Everyone that laughed has a good vocabulary. So it was like I had gravel in my mouth, and I couldn't say anything. I couldn't say, Grandma, did you shit yourself? And we got to school, and she was like, baby, I need to come in and use the bathroom. And I said, no, Grandma. And she said, no, I need to come in. It's an emergency. And I said, they don't know you, Grandma. They won't let you in. And she said, baby, I need to come in. And I said, I love you, Grandma, and then I rolled the fuck out. Because I didn't want anyone to know I have a shitty grandma. So the second time, you need to know, when I was a little kid, you know, I wanted to grow up to be a gorilla. I had aspirations. Around 7 years old, I realized that was retarded. What I really wanted to be was an X-Men. And I love comic books, and my pride and joy was my Marvel Masterpiece card collection. So my grandma, she was having a garage sale with her friend Ermski. She's Polish. She helped us hide the Jews. And they had this little suitcase. It was child-sized, and I claimed it in the name of Manifest Destiny. So I had this little suitcase, and I put my Marvel Masterpiece cards in it. And my grandma asked me to come in the house, and Ermski sold the suitcase for $3. I was like, Ermski, you're a jerk. She's like the 8-year-old motherfucker. And my grandma said, calm down. And I said, no, Grandma, she's a jerk-faced jerk. And so my grandma decided to make it a teachable moment. And she said, we're not going to buy you another set of cards.
Oh.
And I'm not entirely sure what the lesson I was supposed to learn is, but I know 20 years later, I'm still pissed off about those goddamn Marvel cards. If I ever see Ermski again, I'm going to kick her in the neck. I'm going to find an old Nazi and give that a kiss away. Finish what you started, you Nazi motherfucker. You have an hour and then I'm turning you back in. Those are 2 times I've been shitty to my grandma, who I love with all my heart.
I have one more joke about rape, and I was going to save it for the end, but I think it's like my priest used to say to me, you can get the rape out of the way in the beginning, and then you can enjoy the rest of the night. Now, most of my jokes, they're based on real-life experiences, and I've never really raped anyone. I mean, there's one incident, kind of a gray area. But I'm going to let you guys be the judge. So my first girlfriend believed that Jesus Christ was her personal Lord and Savior. And this child of God, in her attempt to be as close to Christ as possible, she would practice oral sex and anal sex, but not vaginal, because she was saving that for Jesus. So one day we were fooling around, she was pushing the old tugboat up the Hershey Highway, and I popped out. And she reached between her legs, and she grabbed my cock, and she stuffed it in her pussy. Or as I like to call it, the Lord's hole. Now the problem is, literally seconds later, the girl that I'd been fucking in the ass for the last 6 months realized she was no longer a virgin. And that's when she started saying, I should have stopped her, and bandying about words like rape. Now by a round of applause, how many people here think that qualifies me as a rapist? I thought it was one girl in the back. I was like, is she here tonight? I thought we'd stop talking. How many people here don't think that qualifies as rape? I think I found a jury of my peers. If you guys could sign the petition on the way out, my court date is next week. I'm joking, she's way too scared to take me to court. A friend of mine was recently transferred from an insane asylum to a farm. Because clearly horses are the cure for crazy. We've all heard about horses just wandering into the ghetto and saving a classroom full of urban youths. And that's a movie I'd love to see. Like, I want to see Seabiscuit sit Precious down and teach her about her inner black beauty. I want to see Dangerous Minds 2, the story of Flicka. I want to see Coach Carter on the basketball court in a Stetson and a pair of shit kickers welcoming the kids to Writing 101.
So by round of applause, how many people here have ever smoked PCP? Just me? Ladies. So I have never knowingly or willingly smoked PCP, but there was that one time. I showed up at a party and they handed me a bong, and I thought I could hang. I'm like, I smoke weed with the best. I own the chronic. What? But it turns out it was PCP. And I went into an instant brownout. Now, if you don't know, a blackout is where you don't remember anything, and a brownout is where you only remember bits and pieces. And I'll tell you about the bits and pieces that I remember. At some point, I was sitting on a couch watching cartoons. The next thing I know, I wound up at a 4 a.m. Latino biker bar. If you've never been to one, this is like the kind of place where Batman villains go to hang out when they've just pulled off a caper. And I called an ex-girlfriend at some point and got into an argument. I don't know how or why, but at some point I said, "Bitch, I'm Ian Ellis. I'll kill your whole fucking family." I don't know why I said that. I have a feeling I was thinking about Ermski. I know, 29, at this point, the only thing I've ever killed is like a bathroom. And like an El Burrito Loco or a White Castle, whatever you have in your poor neighborhood. So the last thing I remember, I'm in a bathroom and I'm at the urinal taking a piss, and a cholo walked in behind me. Now, cholos scare me more than like chupacabras, ghosts, or the devil. And he walked to a bathroom stall and he knocked on the door, and a guy made what I felt was a very reasonable argument. He said, "Dude, I'm taking a shit." But Cholo doesn't play that. So he kicked in the door. So I got the fuck out of there because I didn't want to be like collateral damage. So I got out and I was like, "Dude, I just saw some dude get his ass beat." And they're like, "Ian, thank God we found you. That dude just went in the bathroom to beat you up." And I was like, "Why the fuck weren't you guys in there trying to help me?" And they're like, "Well, apparently that girl that you were groping, that's his cousin. And she probably just came from her quinceañera." So I think we need to legalize weed. We don't have to do it for everybody. I'd be cool if we just legalized weed for black dudes. The thing is, I'm tired of feeling like I might get arrested every time I hang out with my boys. And like my white friends smoke weed too, but they don't get racially profiled every 5 minutes. If you did legalize weed just for black dudes, I feel like police would start pulling over brothers and searching their cars for white people. Whoop whoop! As you know, we're cracking down on under-black smokers. Couldn't help but notice you have a lot of white paraphernalia in the back of your car. I can let that Kings of Leon sticker go, but when I saw that lacrosse stick, I knew we had trouble. I need you to be straight with me. Are any of the passengers in your car currently wearing blackface? No? Now, when I walked past your car, I distinctly smelled Axe cologne coming from the trunk. Now, you can pop it open or we can get the dogs, but either way, it's going to open for us. That's fucked up. I got pulled over by the police fucking 2 days ago. So this material's a little raw, but fuck the police. They're fucking assholes. I got pulled over because I had my iPod headphones in, which I didn't know was a crime. And they didn't ask me some regular questions. They pulled me over and said, "Excuse me, sir, how high are you?" How high am I? I'm pretty sure I just got pulled over for going the speed limit. How fucking high are you? Like, the economy really fucked up my weed game. I haven't been high since gas hit $4 a gallon. You could get a lot of weed for a tank of gas. This next question was, how many weapons do you have on you? What kind of lazy anti-terrorism bullshit is this? Who the fuck is falling for that question? I wasn't gonna bring it up. But since you asked, I got a dirty bomb in the back and some anthrax in the front. You got me! They got this new fucked up law. If you get arrested for any reason, they could strip search you and go all up in your booty hole in your cavity. I'm gonna start carrying X-Lax on me. You go in my asshole, it's gonna be a shitty situation for both of us. Congratulations, you caught me and Pink Eye. Good luck getting that E. coli out of your mustache, Officer Booty Breath. I forgot to talk about the cop. So the cop, here's what I want to say to the motherfucking police. If you're gonna pull someone over and stand right at face level, brush your fucking teeth. The only job you can show up to with breath smelling worse than dog shit is like a telemarketer. Maybe not even that. His breath smelled worse than prison dick. His breath smelled like it could strip the ozone off a planet. So how many guys here remember the first time they ever busted a nut? When I was a little kid, my parents sat me down for the sex talk, and I was so embarrassed I just agreed to everything they said. Like, you know what sex is? I was like, yeah, I do it all the time. You know what masturbation is? Oh, I'm the king of the masturbators. I get high fives in every hallway. I had no idea what the fuck they were talking about. But a couple days later, I was watching E's Wild On. I noticed the humping on my bed sheets felt really good. It felt like it was building to something, but I couldn't do it in my own house because I had a twin bed. It was a bed on the top and a desk on the bottom because my twin brother died in the womb. I couldn't hump on it without waking everybody up, so I had to stay home sick from school. So I stayed home sick the next day. Everybody left, locked all the windows, locked all the doors. And I put on Time Cop, because that's the only bootleg I had with some titties in it. So I queued it up to those 30 seconds of titties, and I started getting it in with my Ninja Turtle bed sheets. I was hitting it like a code on Sega Genesis. Up, down, left, right, and I busted my first nut ever, and it scared the shit out of me. Like, what is this white shit coming out of my dick? I started crying. I said, Jesus, what did I do? Can you help me, Lord? Are the doctors going to know this is missing from my body? I thought everyone was going to find out, so I just walked around depressed for days. Like, you think I had personally killed Optimus Prime. That's how sad I was walking around. So one day I had to go to my dad. He's sitting downstairs having a scotch, looking like Mad Men. Apparently y'all don't get that channel. So I tried to talk to him like a man. I was like, hey, yo, Dad! Sound like a little DMX. Like, what's going on, son? I was like, hey, yo, Dad! And then I start crying the more I talk. You know the masturbating! You know the thing you're talking. I tried it! And I started crying. And he said, what happened? I said, the white stuff came out. He said, did it feel good? I said, no, it was awful. And he laughed in my face. Until I stopped crying. And then he called his best friend and made me tell him the story too. That's the story of the first time I ever busted a nut. So if you're going to get molested, make sure it happens when you're a child. The older you get, it just becomes embarrassing. Like if an ice cream truck pulls up and a guy has handfuls of kittens and puppies and you get molested, people understand that. I was 21 when I got molested. And the guy, he didn't have handfuls of kittens and puppies. He had half a bottle of Jose Cuervo and season 2 of Queer as Folk. I went into his room and he had this big jug of KY jelly and I was like, what's up with that, man? And he's like, oh, you know, my lady gets a little dry. I started high boxing. And that high boxing turned into tickling. And that tickling turned into tussling. And the next thing I knew, I was pinned on the bed. It's a moment where we locked eyes. It's like that moment in The Lion King where Simba pinned Nala. Except in this situation, Nala knew he was about to get raped. Do we have any fathers here? Yeah! I just want to thank all of the amazing fathers out there for creating so many wonderful hoes. Like, if it wasn't for daddy issues, I wouldn't get any pussy at all. So get a lot of beautiful women and pay attention. A lot of you girls, you're too old to have low self-esteem. Like, you've got till about 27 to have issues, and then you need to just systematically give up on all of your hopes and dreams. Like, you should be lying to yourself and Jesus when you look in the mirror. Because guys give up early, like, I'm fat, and I got bad breath, and I don't dress really well, but I still get pussy because I remind women of their father. Some guys wear Axe cologne, I wear Old Spice and have a drinking problem. Works out great. And there's not a woman in this room that's so beautiful, it's okay for you to not know how to suck dick. A beautiful woman that can't suck dick is like a nice car with no engine. Like, I would rather have a hoopty that'll put a finger in my butt and cup the balls than a Ferrari that won't swallow. We gotta divorce the idea that love and sex are the same thing. Because in my best relationship, I still wanted to get some side pussy. But in my worst relationship, I never wanted to get some side love. I was never like, I would risk it all for a moment of affection. I fucked up, I started saying on stage, I want a girl that knows how to act like side pussy, even if she's the only bitch I'm fucking. And I got a girl, she's so low maintenance, I feel like I gotta cheat on her just to keep her happy. I don't like love, because love is exhausting. Like, love for a man is keeping other men from fucking your woman, and keeping your woman happy enough so she still wants to fuck you. I don't have the energy for that shit. Hey, you've been in a relationship for more than a week, you qualify as like a junior detective. Like 25 years in, you're like Batman. You have the Da Vinci Code for all the shit that comes out of her mouth. You know when she drops a name or adds a name, exactly what she's implying. I love older women because older women know how to just give you the pussy. Sometimes younger women will just take you hostage with pussy. And they're like, go in there and give me all those pants. I'm not giving you any pussy. I hate younger women. So here's some of the sexist bullshit that women pull. Sometimes women get mad because I'll just talk to them any kind of way. And they're like, how come you just can't be respectful and charming? Men are only charming when they're trying to get some pussy. I've never been charming to one of my male friends. But they're like, oh man, you fell down. How do you feel about that? And it's some anti-sexist bullshit, because then you just reduce yourself to a hole. Because what you're really saying is, how come you can't talk to me like I'm fuckable? You guys have heard of car facts? Yeah. I think they need ex-girlfriend facts. Like, I want the blue book value of your self-esteem before we go on a date. Yeah, that's good. I want at least 2 recent relationships to co-sign on your crazy before I pay for dinner. Before I get out of here, I like to try and give advice to men about how to go through a breakup with your dignity intact. Because I think every guy has written at least one letter that they'd rather die than have read aloud. You girls have probably gotten emails that are like, I realize now that you are the sun and the moon. And baby, I would throw that Xbox away. And I stopped smoking weed during the weekdays. Because you, fuck those letters. First thing you have to do when you go through a breakup is you have to fuck a whore. And it's not to make yourself feel better. Preach. We say preach. It's not to make yourself feel better, and it's not to hurt your ex-girlfriend. It's because you got to get all the crazy in your balls out of your system so that you don't carry that into your next relationship. See, you need to get your dick refurbished. And a whore is like the genius bar for your dick. And that's the only thing that's going to get your mind right. Like, you have to ignore women because that's the only way you can fix them. If you tell them, like, I love you and I'll always be there for you, they don't have time to think about how they're wrong for the shit that they did. They just think about how you're a puppy and take advantage of you. I stopped respecting women in my 20s. It's not because I wanted to, it's because I date you. I hate fighting with women because women don't like resolution in a fight. They want, like, tabloid status. Like, they want to be able to go into work and tell all their friends just how crazy they made you act. I'm divorced, and I'm not looking for love at this point. At this point, I'm looking for a carny wife. A carny wife is a girl that knows how to act like side pussy, even if she's the only girl you're fucking. Like, some of you like normal chicks, and that's fine. I understand you want a girl that you can introduce to your friends and family and not be ashamed of. I don't need that. I want a girl that wants to blow me in the grocery store. She likes the way my dick looks at a banana. Like, I can't handle normal chicks. Like, you get in a fight with a carny wife, you might lose a tooth. It's a very real possibility. But you get in a fight with a normal chick, suddenly everybody has to die. You, the kids, the career you spent 10 years building,
And you can't ignore a normal chick. Like a normal chick would rather burn your house down than go 3 days without a phone call. You gotta hang up on a carny wife mid-sentence. Not call that hoe for a month. And she'll be fine.
How many people here love?
Yeah.
How many people are in love? I'm about to shit all over that.
All right.
I'm currently going through a recession divorce. It's like a regular divorce, except I'm still married. And I thought tonight is my wedding anniversary. So I thought I'd tell the very special story about how shit went really, really wrong. So I've been married about 3 years. My wife and I lived in Baltimore. And we weren't talking and we weren't fucking. And that's usually like 2 bad signs. Like those are 2 things you want in a relationship. You want to be talking or fucking. So one day I was like, you know what? We're growing apart. Let me put in some work today. Have you guys ever tried to put in some special work for your lady?
Yeah.
So I let my lady sleep in. And I was like, when she gets up, I'm going to make her breakfast. We're going to talk. We're going to make love. It'll be beautiful. And she slept in. And she slept for like 20 goddamn hours. And finally I was like, baby, what do you want for breakfast? And she was like, pancakes. So I said, all right, I'm going to go to the store, get some pancakes. When I come back, I'll make breakfast. I went to the store. I came back about 10 minutes later, and she was gone. And I called her. I was like, baby, what'd you do? Oh, I realized I slept in. I wanted to go to the gym, and then I'll be at work. So that's when the little voice in the back of my head, my spider senses started going off. And they were like, Ian, check her email. And I was like, all right, I'll check the email. So I pull it up, and I was like, what do I search? And the little voice is like, keyword search the word fuck. I was like, nobody's that stupid. But I searched the word fuck. And I found a very special email between her and that ex-boyfriend she knew goddamn well she wasn't supposed to be talking to. And this was a conversation that she had had, and it was everything you never want to hear as a man. It said, my husband is a fucking loser. He can't hold down a job. He has a little dick. I have to think about you when I'm fucking him. And hey, don't talk to my wife like that. And I was shaking, and I went outside and I smoked a pack of Newports. Not like 1 or 2, like a pack. And I decided I better call someone, because my therapist said, if you're ever going to do something crazy, like batshit crazy, call me first. So I called her, and she didn't pick up. So I called her like 16 more times, and the bitch still didn't pick up. And I was like, I'm no longer responsible for my actions. Now, my best friend, he got ordained as a minister to like perform the ceremony, and then he started teaching marriage counseling after that. So I called him, and I was like, dude, this is what's going on. What do I do? And he's like, I don't know what Jesus would do, but I'd kill the bitch. I was like, it's probably not an option. I have a hard time lying, and I've seen CSI once or twice, and you get caught. He's like, I don't know, dude, it's out of my wheelhouse. Just try and communicate. So I called my wife, and I was like, baby, I found a very special email, and you need to come home so we can talk about it like adults.
Oh.
So she came home and it started out good. We were talking. I said, the marriage is over. She said, I'm cool with that. I said, I haven't been happy for a while. She said, neither have I. And we left it at that. Marriage was over. We were adults. I went in the other room and I called my dad. And I was like, Dad, can you